On the line, I have P-KRAZY. Let everybody know where you grew up.
All right, I grew up down south, New Orleans. Families from uptown areas. Well, I also grew up in St. John Parish, and that's where the banging, and that's where I got familiarized with all that. It actually been around long before New Orleans, Louisiana got put on the map for gang banging and stuff like that.
Okay, yeah, we'd like to talk about that. Now, you said St. James Parish or St. John's Parish?
St. John.
Okay.
St. John the Baptist.
Gotcha. How far is that from inner city New Orleans?
About 20 minutes.
Okay, cool. So it's just right outside.
Yeah, about 20 minutes.
Okay, cool. And you said that's where you were introduced to Crips and Bloods, basically?
Yeah, basically. I mean, that's where I discovered it, Crips and Bloods.
Yeah. Well, before we even get to that point in your life, I would like to know, like, what other gangs were around before, to the best of your knowledge, before you even, before Crips and Bloods even came along?
Just like the hood gangs, like in New Orleans, just like the neighborhood cliques or whatever. It's not necessarily gangs. So, like in the early 90s, man, it really was just like people representing their neighborhoods, their wards. So it wasn't necessarily gang ties. It wasn't no Bloods or Crips in New Orleans back then, around that time. Okay. People just represent their wards and their neighborhoods. And uptown, downtown, stuff like that.
And explain the wards. Would it be comparable to what we would call projects out here?
No, the wards are more like districts down here.
Okay.
They're broken down into different districts. And that's basically what the wards is like, 1 through 17, And like us, where we grew up at, the 3rd ward. And then you got downtown with your 7th ward, your 6th ward, 5th ward, stuff like that, 9 wards. So yeah, basically the wards are just, districts, voting districts, and just different districts throughout the city.
Gotcha. Okay. Are they doing a lot of gentrification over there now?
Oh man, it's crazy. They've been gentrifying since after Katrina. And I mean, right now it's real crazy. Some of the neighborhoods, like for instance, the projects, that's pretty much gentrified. They tore the projects down, rebuilt them, and then they got other little neighborhoods that they tearing down and rebuilding. And I mean, the prices they putting on these homes is just, the residents that grew up there and lived there their whole life, they can't afford it, So they got to move around, move to other areas around the city, or move out the parish. Yeah, they got a lot of gentrification going on down here.
Yeah, man. And am I correct in saying they tore down Magnolia?
Yeah, they tore down the Magnolia, rebuilt it up. They tore down a lot of the projects, majority of them.
Okay. Magnolia made famously by the likes of Master P and.
Master P. He from the Cali project.
Damn it.
That's in the 3rd. Yeah, that's in the 3rd ward too.
Yeah. Who's
but
from
Juvenile?
Juvenile. That's who I'm thinking.
Juvenile,
okay. Cash
Soldier
Money.
Slim.
Gotcha. R.I.P. Soldier Slim.
R.I.P.
Yeah, man. When take yourself back to that day, man, when you're seeing just New Orleans literally become the biggest thing in hip hop. I mean, New Orleans held the crown for a few years, with the Soldier Slims and the Master P. I had every single, Master P dropped fucking albums. I had a whole CD case, dog, and probably 70 CDs were Master P related. Fiend,
right,
Shock,
right.
You know what I'm saying? Just everybody, dog.
Everybody.
Yeah, take me back to that time, man. Did you feel proud being from New Orleans?
Man, it was crazy, bro. Like, because I remember it vividly. I was a little younger when it was at the peak. But I remember it just, my older brother, we used to always walk to Peaches, like a local record store. We used to always walk to Peaches. And I mean, every month they would have like a different mural on the side of the building of like whoever's promoting the album for that, that time period or whatever. And I mean, just bro, the city was live. Everything was live down here during that time. You know what I'm saying? Because Cash Money was also hot as well.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Big Boy.
you know, I mean, yeah, it was crazy, bro. It was crazy. It felt good to be from down here, you know.
Yeah.
Seeing people that you know and seeing areas and neighborhoods that you walking through every day and being around every day, seeing it on TV and stuff, man. It was mind blowing, bro.
Yeah. Because I'm from Long Beach, and I remember how fucking great it felt to hear Snoop say Long Beach on a song. I'm like, what? It felt like
right.
super, you know, you feel like kind of a superstar and shit. I know that sounds kind of weird, but when you're 12, 13, that's what it's all about.
Right. You get to represent.
Yeah. All right, cool, man. Well, shit, let's talk a little bit more about your upbringing. How old were you when you started getting intrigued by the streets?
I always been kind of intrigued by the streets since an early age. Like I said, I grew up in that. I'm an 80s baby, but grew up in like the 90s era when they had the gangster rap and all the gangster movies coming out, hood movies, and also like I said, being from down here and seeing movies from like Master P and Cash Money, Baller Block, and then I'm Bowdy and The Last Don and stuff like that. It just, man, everything about it just intrigued me, you know what I'm saying? And plus I also had family and people that was around me that was just in the streets. So I'm like, everything my brother was doing, I pretty much wanted to follow in his footsteps. So, he kind of got off into the streets a little earlier than me. He's 7 years older than me. So, just looking up to him, watching everything he's doing, that kind of influenced me even more. Plus the people I'm around at school and coming up with, I mean, they were just, I don't know, it was a no-brainer for me that I'm gonna do that too. I'm gonna be out there too. I'm gonna do what they doing.
Yeah, we've been talking for 5-6 minutes, and you've mentioned your brother a couple of times, and I know he unfortunately lost his life earlier in your life, right?
Not this brother I'm talking about.
Oh, okay.
Not. He's still here.
Oh, okay.
Still here.
Okay. But you do have another brother who's resting in peace right now.
I mean, down here in New Orleans, we refer to our closest homies and friends as brothers.
Okay.
And people we came up with. It's just like a word of endearment.
Yeah, nah, it makes sense.
So, yeah, I got a lot of bros that's resting in peace, on that tip. But as far as my biological brother, he's still here with me.
Thank God.
Still here with us.
When did you actually turn blood? Take us back to that day. Like, what was going on in your life? You know what I mean?
I'm gonna take you back, bro, because I mean, I got my memory goes so far back to when I first found out about gangs. I mean, this had to be early 90s when I first made it to public school. I was green to it. So like I said, we didn't have Bloods and Crips in New Orleans at that time period. I mean, this is something you didn't even hear about in the city. So out there in St. John Parish going to public school and stuff, I'm around these dudes who already were kind of hip to it. And I mean, young cats around my age. But I just remember being in public school and hearing people, oh, I'm a Blood, I'm a Crip, woo-woo, different little people from different. And then I just noticed that they kind of from different areas. You know what I'm saying? So as time went on in school, I kind of just, paid more attention to it. And then we moved to a certain little neighborhood out there in St. John Parish, which was predominantly Bloods. And I mean, I started hanging around with a few of them cats and got cool with them. And shit, I wanted to be down with them too. So that's kind of how I got into that whole little scene, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that had to be around 98, 99. That had to be around like 98, 99 if I'm correct.
We've heard that Mac 10 is one of the main reasons that Bloods were brought to New Orleans, and then obviously Lil Wayne. What you're saying is they were here way before that, right?
Right. and it was here since the 80s.
Okay.
They was here before me, so I mean that's how far back it goes. And I heard that from one of the older heads who kind of schooled us, and gave us some history of how it came down here.
Okay.
So yeah, it definitely been here since the 80s.
Close my window real quick. Dogs are going crazy. So would it be safe to say that maybe Lil Wayne just at least popularized it down there?
Definitely,
Okay.
definitely. And I mean, that it just, around that time when Wayne started coming out with the blood stuff, it really, you did see a shift in the city. People you starting to see red rags pop up. Because I mean, back in the 90s, bro, back in the 90s and early 2000s, there were more Crips. You know what I'm saying? And down here, period.
Okay.
I mean, we were just outnumbered. And I mean, that's what was hot back then. That's what was, popularized. Yeah, so I mean, even if the people weren't really part of those gangs, people still representing and, I'm this and I'm that, just because that's what they seen on TV and everybody doing the Crip walk. And, I remember when that was a big thing, bro.
Yeah. At Bow Wow doing that shit.
Yeah, and I mean, we, people down here seeing that shit, and, at that time, everybody wanted to be Crips. But, once Lil Wayne started, making those blood references and saying he's a blood and, all that, it kind of shifted, It kind of shifted. So definitely, he had an influence on the blood scene in the city, for sure.
Do you know where Baby's from, like set-wise? Or?
Man, I heard they from PlRU.
Okay, because that would be the connection to L.A., right?
Right.
Okay.
That's what I heard. But I mean, like I said, bro, with that shit, I can't say what they is and what they not. Cause I never seen them out, banging in the streets with us. You know what I'm saying? Them dudes been rich. Mm-hmm. No disrespect to them is there, but like I said, niggas been banging long before that even got popularized by them.
Gotcha. Well, let's talk a little bit of hip hop, man. Just a few stories that I would love your opinion on. Now,
all right.
Let me see here. Before I asked you actually did used to flow, right? I had to dig deep in your Instagram. I like to, get to know people I'm interviewing to make sure they're legit and all that, So I saw.
Yeah, I'm actually a musician, bro. I actually really play and read music.
Oh, that's what's up, dog.
Because marching bands was big down here too. Yes. Marching bands real big down here, so I grew up in music, So yeah, I actually played the trumpet.
That's dope, man. I like that shit. I like that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, shit, man. It seems like hip hop is interesting nowadays. I think you said you're in your 30s.
Right. 32.
Okay, cool. 32. So you're about 10 years younger than me. So it's about we still come from a different time.
Right.
Pre-YouTube, like SoundCloud, everybody snitching.
Internet.
Yeah, so, okay, cool. This is going to be a good conversation. But, it seems like rappers are easy food nowadays, man. Just getting shot, getting robbed, set up by females. The feds are just kicking down doors. It seems like every time a rapper makes it to the top, they're getting arrested on some shit. That if you kind of dig and look into it, that they probably, were dumb and were, telling on themselves. What are your thoughts on this whole new generation of people actually glorifying what they're doing on Instagram and saying I'm smoking such and such op and I shot it. They're actually, back when I was coming up, dog, and when we were coming up, gangster rappers lied about what they did, but we're living in a time now where they're actually telling literally word for word, and cops are piecing the puzzles together. What are your thoughts on the current state of hip hop in that situation there?
I mean, really, I feel out of place when it comes to hip hop. And like you said, I used to mess with the music. I still do, but I just that passion that I had for it, and I'm like, what I'm gonna rap about
I lost that too.
other than what the older people will really feel. I can't really relate to the
Shit,
younger,
I gotta go to
the
work
younger
tomorrow.
generation.
Get up at 11. You know,
Right,
shit.
right. Got the kids to take care of.
Yeah.
They don't
want
stuff
to hear
like
that shit. They want to hear kill a nigga, shoot a nigga. Fuck a
Yeah,
bitch.
they want to hear all that crazy shit. But like I said, I just can't get jiggy with it. For one, I mean, like I said, I'm a musician, so I actually look for harmonies. I look for cadences and the flow. I look for a good composition of a song. I mean, me and one of my friends was just talking about it. He like, bro, you got to get with the time. These dudes are not laying down 2 verses and 2 hooks and stuff like that. They
don't even know how to
verse.
count bars, dog. They just go for it.
He like, man, they
which that I kind of like. I kind of like that. Visual. Yeah, I wasn't liking that 16/8, 16/8, 16/8. It gets kind of repetitive. That part I do like about kids, changing it up a little bit.
And that's kind of cool. Yeah. But me, I'm kind of stuck in my old ways, so that's why I say I gotta catch up when it even comes to that type of stuff, But as far as the content, I mean, everything's the same, bro. It's all cliche. I mean, you rarely hearing dudes that's different. You know what I'm saying? Like, and like how you say, smoking on packs and all that. I mean, that's for sure a new thing, because coming up, I mean, people wasn't that disrespectful towards the dead. You dig? And I mean, down here we got a lot of different beliefs and stuff.
Yeah.
But
when it comes to the dead and all that.
Yeah, especially the dead.
Yeah,
I mean,
you don't fuck with the dead, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. Like stuff like that, you don't really hear too many. I mean, even the newer artists, you don't really hear them too much.
Oh, okay.
You don't even really hear them too much disrespecting the dead like that. Maybe some of the younger cats, but nah, bro. That's just that's not cool in my eyes, really.
Yeah, and it seems like the thing is to top the last person, get his disrespectful. Now I'm gonna film a video at his gravesite.
Yeah, and see, And see, the thing with that is, these dudes, they don't know how to control their emotions. Everything they doing, they acting out of emotions. What so and so did my dead homie on the track. So let me go tell on myself. Let me go put in some work right quick and then talk about it afterwards in the track. You know what I'm saying? To get back. And I mean, I just came up from an era where we don't move like that. What happened in the streets, stay in the streets.
When you were coming
up,
definitely
ain't name drop. I'm gonna say we definitely ain't name drop. Any of the deceased, stuff like that.
Yeah, you came up in a different time, man, and it's crazy because back when you were coming up, the cops had to actually go knock on doors. They had to go do a bunch of research. They had to take years. It took years to. Now, dog, they just sit in their office. They sit in their office, kick up their feet, and they just go through Instagram. Oh, let's see who's beefing today. Oh, okay, cool. Folio and Young and Ace is beefing today. Let's see what's going on. Let's go to this YouTube video. Oh, let's hear this song. And they just piece that shit together. And one thing about the feds is they're very, very patient. They're very very patient.
All right. Yeah, the feds ain't coming until they got a solid case on you.
Yeah.
And I mean, with that being said, you could look at some of the things down here that didn't happen, like BG, for instance, he got caught up just because of different little things that was on video. You know what I'm saying? On YouTube and stuff, and they used that against him in court. When it came down, man. I mean, that's how the feds move, bro. They're gonna let you keep doing stuff until they know they got you. That's when you hear them come knocking.
Yeah, man.
There's a rap when they come,
Yeah, their percentage rate is too high, man. So be careful out there, kids. If you're listening, stop doing shit on camera. Just stop selling. Like, I know motherfuckers that sell. I don't know them, but I see just random Instagram people selling pills and selling lean.
Yeah,
I'm
bro.
like, you're doing it on your story, on your Instagram story. What the fuck are you thinking, man?
Right, bro.
I don't get it, dog.
Right. That's that new age. That's that new age, bro. That's the new generation. I mean, you can't fault them though, because I mean, this is what they seeing growing up. Yeah. This their time, this their era. So this is what they seeing growing up. So that's what they running with.
Yeah.
And they really don't have no no big homies or older, just positive male role models to tell them any different. You know what I'm saying? Keep their head on sharp. I could say for sure I at least had older dudes, older male model role models in my life that would, tell us the right things, despite what we doing. You know what I'm saying? Mm. So that definitely made us move a lot different.
What are your thoughts on Tekashi 6ix9ine in general? The whole situation from his beginning to where he is today.
Honestly, I didn't even really follow his movement until, it just started getting to the point where you cannot help but to see him on YouTube, Instagram and stuff like that. But I really think that, I don't take that serious. You know what I'm saying? As far as him.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody do they things, the things they out here doing for their own reasons. But as far as like him with that gang shit, like I said, bro, I don't respect nobody just putting on because they got a buzz or they got, a little name going for themselves. So this shit, a lot of people, and I hear a lot of time on the internet. People be like, well, if you ain't from BANGlN, then that shit fake. That shit phony. You know what I'm saying? But ain't nothing fake and phony about people losing their lives. You know what I'm saying? And mothers burying their children. You dig? That shit, that's as real as it gets. And people going to jail with these football numbers.
Yeah, man.
But I just don't take that shit serious as far as 6ix9ine and, his blood affiliation. I mean, I know the dudes he was affiliated with. I know them dudes was solid or whatever, really about their shit. But as far as him, man, I don't, like I said, bro, he just type of shit he was doing would have never flew with us.
Something else that's big in your life is tattooing.
Right.
Yeah, great work, man. What got you into tattooing?
I'll tell you what got me into it, bro. Back in school, like junior high school, like I said, the gang shit was real big back then. And everybody, and they have different districts out there in St. John Parish too. And it's a small little parish or whatever, but it's broken up to like 2-3 different little towns on this side of the river, on the east bank side of the river. And all 3 of those towns, they got LaPlace, they got Reserve, and they got Garyville. And all of them was coming to school in LaPlace at this one junior high school. And I mean, everybody used to write their hoods or their little area on their body, and the same on their arms, just like if it was tattoos. And I mean, I'm like, you know what? I'm good with this drawing stuff, good with the art. So I'm about to figure out how to do this shit. So it was just that I wanted to tattoo the homies up. And like I said, my older brother, he used to have me get like India ink from the art class. And here, him and his homies would do the little tattoos and shit with the needle and ink, just the needle, just a single sewing needle or whatever. So once he introduced me to that shit, bro, I kind of had the concept of, how to tattoo, but I really didn't get into it until high school. I really got into it. I actually got on house arrest, so I got caught up. Mm-hmm. So I was on house arrest, and I actually built me a tattoo machine. And I mean, from there, I kind of started dabbling with it, and I left it alone for a little while. Just off in the streets, not really too much focus on that shit. One of my big homie, my OG homie, he seen the potential in me when I didn't see it in myself. So he actually ordered me a tattoo gun online. He ordered me a tattoo gun, and he just told me one day, bro, I see what's going on with y'all out here. Shit really real, and You know, y'all got people dying and y'all catching cases and shit like that. So he like, man, hopefully me getting this for you will keep you a little more focused and out of the streets. And really, bro, once he did that, I kind of just took off with it.
Wow.
Yeah, I kind of took off with it, bro.
That's dope, man. I love hearing shit like that.
Yeah, that was real. That was you know, he played a major factor into where I'm at today in my life. You know, starting from, like I said, in my room, making a tattoo gun, a house arrest, owning owning a business on one of the most popular streets down here. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
I love hearing shit like that, man. That's dope, dog. Do you do your own work on your body?
I used to when I was younger.
Is that extra hard or is it easier? Is it
hard? It's not necessary. It depends on the spot. Like if you're doing your legs or your arm, only it's harder to do your arm, something like that, because I mean you need that extra hand to stretch the skin. So if you're doing your leg or something, yeah, it's a little easier.
Damn.
And I mean, you know your own pain tolerance too.
Okay.
You know, some people you got to fight with in the chair and nurse them through it. You know what I'm saying? So it don't be for everybody.
Now, keep it real. At the beginning, because I don't want to put you on blast now, but in the beginning, did you ever fuck up somebody's tattoo?
I mean, yeah, I fucked up tattoos. That just come with the territory, you know. I know vets that, you know, still make mistakes every now and then. But if you can't, usually it's nothing major to the point where we can't fix it.
Okay.
Now I done had a couple of times where people, they actually give you the wrong name, because I always ask them before I stick them. I always show them. All right, this the right name. This the right name. And then they'll get on the phone and send a picture to their relative or somebody, and
you spelled it wrong,
right.
Fool.
Yeah, that ain't right. Yeah, that didn't happen a few times, bro.
Damn, a few times. That's sad that you said a few times, dog. That shows.
I mean, I've been tattooing for a long time.
Yeah,
so I got some stories, bro.
Damn, dog.
It happens,
That's
bro.
crazy. Did you ever do any jail or prison time?
No prison time. I done went to jail a couple of times, but nothing. Nothing major. You know what I'm saying?
I was wondering if you ever did it behind bars.
Oh, nah.
Okay.
Nah. Yeah. Nothing major like that.
Okay, cool.
I was one of the lucky ones, bro.
Yeah, man. Shit. Thank God, homeboy.
I mean, a lot of people, like you say with the music and shit, a lot of people glorify that shit, man. That shit not to be glorified, bro.
Nope.
I got a partner right now doing 29. You know what I'm saying? And he been down for like 14. He tell me all the time, bro, this shit ain't nothing but modern day slavery, bro.
Yep.
You know? And when people start looking at it like that, I mean, the ones that don't care, you're not going to reach everybody. You're not going to save everybody. But, for the ones that actually listen and actually, looking for some real guidance, and they gotta just listen up, bro, because that shit ain't where you want to be. Once you behind them bars and they close them doors, mama can't help you. You know what I'm saying? Mom and daddy can't help you.
Man. Every Sunday on my channel, DustyVisionTV, we have a show called This Ain't It, where I talk with my friend Perry Thompson, who's currently doing 50 to life in California Penitentiary. And This Ain't It is basically the concept of the show. And he's like, man, I was out there doing dumb shit, and now that I'm behind bars, I realize this ain't it. So like you said, man,
ain't it, bro.
Stop. Yeah. Let me ask you, man, but my last question before we kind of wrap it up, because you're dropping jewels tonight. I love it. Kids grow up, they hear about homies doing long prison terms, and they see homies getting shot and dying and things like that. Why do you think the streets are so powerful that it keeps kids still wanting to go that route?
I say because they only seeing one side of it, bro. They only seeing one side of it. You know, they seeing the videos where they glamorizing the camaraderie, you know, the cliques and everybody, you know, the little brotherhoods or whatever they want to call it. They, you know, people, them young kids, they want to feel like they belong to something, you know, and they mesmerized by the money and the cars and, you know, that lifestyle. But I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, they seeing one side of it. But I also do funeral home work. You know what I'm saying? My pops is a mortician, and a mortician for 40 years, so I help him a lot. And they don't see the other side of it, bro. They don't see these bodies bullet riddled and torn apart from these bullets, and they don't really see how hateful people really could be towards another person. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like if they did start to see this type of stuff, then they'll start. It'll make them think. You know what I'm saying? It'll make them think. They don't see parents crying over their children and shit like that while they child in the casket. You know what I'm saying? So I think they just really seeing that one side. They ain't seeing, you know, how you're hurting behind bars and you got to reach out to your homies to put something on your books. You know, how your mama crying for you and your kids missing you and stuff like that, bro. They not seeing both sides of the shit. They only seeing it from one side. And I mean, at one point in time, you know, that was me too. Only seen it from one side, and when I was looking from that side of it, I didn't really care about tomorrow or what came with it, you know. But as time goes on and you grow up and you see that, you know, there's really some bullshit what we out here doing, then, you know, you never really gonna get it, bro. And like I said, you can't save everybody, but the ones you could, they need to take heed to what, you know, some of the older people saying something. When it's all said and done, bro, once you close that casket, slam them doors on you, that's a wrap.
Yeah, that's the best way to end the show right there. P-KRAZY, thank you so much. If there's anything you want to promote or talk about, now the floor is yours, man.
Only thing I really want to promote, bro, is that these young brothers out here start getting some knowledge, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was lost at one time, and it took me a little time to see it full spectrum, take a panoramic view of everything that's going on. Like tattooing, bro, it opened my eyes to a lot of things. Because when I first started working in tattoo shops, bro, a lot of the people we used to have problems with, a lot of the Crips and stuff from neighborhoods, you know, that I would never associate with, used to come to the shop. And I mean, over a period of time, bro, I got cool with a lot of them dudes. I was like, damn, bro, we used to be beefing and, you know, back and forth and at each other, you know, about stupid shit. You know, about property and land we don't even own. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, bro, it's just that's what I want to promote, dog. Positivity, bro, because we need more of it in our communities, bro.
Thank you for tuning in to DustyVisionTV. Please hit that like button if you have not already. And if this is your first time joining the channel and you like what you hear, please hit that subscribe button. And if you enjoyed this video, you just might appreciate this bonus clip I'm about to play for you right now. Check out my interview with Tiny Buntry from Inglewood Family. In this clip, he discusses being a negative influence to the community and causing destruction in the streets.
The biggest thing I regret in life was being a negative influence, because I don't know how many people I influenced to be negative. You know what I mean? And I caused pain and agony on his mother. You know what I'm saying? And his sister. Now the mother doesn't have a husband, or the child doesn't have a father to talk to, because he's in jail, mimicking what I've done. and I don't even know this guy. So my job now is not in no halls, no centers. My job is in the community. My job is to go to the streets and to spend the rest of my days as I'm living on this planet Earth to be able to build the community that I helped destroy. So now my obligation is to travel all across the world and beyond to be able to help all oppressed people who are just like me. All those who felt one way. So, I thank you, Dusty, because as I've been working on myself, as I've been grooming myself, because I wanted, for years, I said, how can I help the community out right now, even though I'm incarcerated? I said, what can I do in prison that can help somebody else out there that needs help? I didn't know, Dusty. I didn't know. So what I started doing, I started working on myself. Why? Because once I am physically free to travel across the planet Earth to be able to help all oppressed people across this planet, I can have the tools to be effective when I get out. So even though I might not be able to travel across the world as of right now, I'm building myself with education. I'm continuously in self-help programs. I'm in college now. I'm circling myself with people with like minds. So therefore I can stay in that magnetic field of positive energy. Why? Because once you're in that field of positive energy, you know what I'm saying, you will stay in that wave and you keep your full armor of God on. So nothing else can penetrate it. So
this call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
I urge you, I impel you to do for self. That negative lifestyle, that destructive, that death culture that we was once involved in, that death culture that we was once involved in, is not a culture at all. I don't want to sound like the typical, it's going to leave you a death in jail, because it will. Because look at me, 62 LY, but they don't have life to give me. You know. But I say this to you brothers and sisters out there. If you don't know what your aim and your purpose is, if you don't know what you're supposed to do, study yourself. If you read every book, go back and study yourself. So that's what I'll say, man. Thank you, Dustin.
Shout out to Tiny Buntree. I appreciate him sharing his story. He's currently serving life in prison for a crime he committed when he was out in the streets. Buntree said something that really, really hit in this clip. Buntree said that now that he's behind bars, he wants to help build the community that years ago he helped destroy. Like it or not, gangs destroy communities. Like it or not, gangs terrorize communities. And I know there's a lot of members listening to my show right now who don't want to hear that. But you terrorize communities. You destroy communities. You bring the prices down in the houses. Whenever there's a house in a gang-infested neighborhood, the houses are inexpensive. There's graffiti all over the walls. You're destroying other people's property. All to claim a street that you don't even own. And realistically, your mom probably has an apartment on Section 8 and you're living with her. Let's keep it real. That's one thing we're going to do on this channel is keeping it real, because I guarantee Buntree would agree with me on that. That gangs destroy communities. It's the truth. Buntree even thanked me in this clip. And it's always good to get thanks. You know, I get thanks behind the scene, but he gave me thanks during the interview. And that just makes me happy, and it reconfirms the reason why I started my channel. I initially started my channel when I started getting into it seriously. I started it because I was tired of my people blaming the white man for everything. The Caucasian man is the enemy, and he's doing this to us, he's doing that to us. Well, you know what? I wanted to focus on the things we do to each other. And we do way more to each other than outsiders do to us. And one way for me to do that was to get former members on my channel, former bangers, people who used to be about that life, who now denounce it. My channel's about denouncing that shit, man. This ain't glorifying nothing. Just because you see a hood or a set in the title of my, doesn't mean I'm glorifying anything. Click on the video and you will see that I and most, if not all of my guests are denouncing this life. And that's exactly what Tiny Buntry's doing. He's denouncing this life because that life led him to where he is right now, serving life in prison. He will most likely never, ever, ever, unless something short of a miracle happens, will never see the light of day again. I hope you're enjoying this Buntry interview. If you enjoyed this clip, go to the description and I have the link to the full interview in the description so you can check it out. Just click on the link and enjoy the full interview with Tiny Buntry from Inglewood family, who is currently serving life in prison. And please hit that like button if you have not already. And if this is your first time joining the channel and you like what you hear, please hit that subscribe button. And if you enjoyed this video, you just might appreciate this bonus clip I'm about to play for you right now.
This is a piece that I composed called Trayvon's Chair, a victim impact statement. Dinner times are always a special time in homes all across America, no matter the dish or address. It's a time for family gathering and giving thanks for daily bread. In the Gibson family, there will always be a missing link and hands ringed around the dinner table when grace is spoken. I imagine Trayvon's favorite seat next to Mama will always be empty. He's not there to fight with bro and sis over the last piece of fried chicken or crack jokes, or simply to eat quietly after coming inside from the mean streets of South LA. Trayvon's feet represented his place in the Gibson family, but is now a little more than an empty dinette chair next to Mama's side. There are many chairs a man goes through in a lifetime. There's the birthing chair where he stands ready to welcome his newborn child into the world. There's high chairs he has to buy for the babies. There's musical chairs that fathers play when they are just toddlers. There's the deck chair for the patio when he watches his children play in the backyard. There's an easy chair in his study when he wants to sit behind a closed door and have a cigar. There's a love seat for two if it's a Netflix and chill night. There's that old rocking chair for grandfathers. Lastly, a wheelchair when feet are too swollen to walk from a lifetime of work and rearing 2 or 3 generations. I stole and broke all of Trayvon's chairs, torched them in flames of fury. I've left him no place to sit in this world. Tonight, first responders and funeralists, courts and board panels, Los Angelinos and Californians all go home, sit in their chairs, and reflect on the millions of dollars I've cost their local and state government, and countless families destroyed, including my own. Trayvon's chair is now a hollow seat in a family that must miss his smile, his laugh, his kindness and humanity as plates are cleared from the table and leftovers are put in the fridge. The unfairness of this tragedy will be the Gibsons learning that I will sit in this chair and not the electric chair for a parole board hearing I don't deserve 20 years after his murder. No matter what, every time I sit with my family and friends, I'll think about Trayvon's chair and all that was lost in those 2 minutes that forever changed both our lives. Rest in peace, Trey.
That's deep. For anyone new to the show and who doesn't know your story, remind us who Trayvon is.
So Trayvon was the young man that I murdered almost 20 years ago in an act of gang violence that senselessly took his life and injured 2 other people who happened to be with him that day.
That was a really nice. That was really nice, man. You said something strong in that stood out to me. You said you feel like you don't deserve that chair on the parole board. Did I catch that correctly?
Yes.
Okay. Can you go deeper into that? That's a very deep line right there.
I mean, people have mixed feelings in California, especially about parole board hearings. Obviously, on the victim side, most or many survivors, family members, people who had to live through the tragedy of losing a loved one or someone being harmed or their life altered forever. They have very strong feelings about people getting a second chance, offenders, as they like to call us, but people getting a second chance, sometimes a third or fourth chance to get things right and come home and try this again, which begins with a parole board hearing. So for me, I get it. When you end someone's life, it's impossible to make that right, to change that. You can't bring them back. It's very unfair that potentially myself and people like me will have an opportunity to come home and continue to live our life. And that opportunity was taken from another human being. So, I think about the many ways that Trayvon could have changed and become the person that his family and friends probably idealized and always wanted him to be. Him getting a chance to live out the rest of his life in a different fashion from the way that we met or that we came across each other in those 2 minutes as two criminals and gang members. So, the way that the system is.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
The way that it's set up, the way that it's structured, I will have a parole board hearing and I will have a chance to make my case for parole. And God willing, I'll be found suitable and I can leave this part of my life in prison, and get out and be the person that my mother birthed me to be, the great person that my family and friends always idealized me to be, and through that, honor Trayvon's legacy. He is the constant in all of my work, the books, poetry, films that I write, stories that I tell. I carry his legacy like I carry my own.
Adam 22 and No Jumper, they've blown up over the past few years. I don't think we've really delved too deep into that camp over there. I've gotten a lot of point of views from people. A lot of people don't really like what he's doing over there, meaning exploiting certain people and cultures and things like that. Some are okay with it, but the majority of the people that I seem to talk to are not really feeling what's going on over at Adam 22's No Jumper. Do you keep in touch via the internet on what's going on over there?
It's kind of funny because I made which goes back to the BANGlN thing. He actually commented on the post and all that shit when he first started doing this crypt troll thing. And he was like, you obviously have never heard of No Jumper, because he claimed that he turned down an interview from No Jumper. I don't watch that shit because for real, it's like how should I put it? When I saw what he did with that so-called gay crip, first of all, everybody knows that's against the rules. We don't condone that shit. It's not that, you know what I'm saying? Like, people are who they are, but you can't be gay and be a crip. You can't do that. So when I saw that shit, and then this dude talking about OG Percy gave him the blue light to do this, that, and third. I'm just looking at this shit, and then he came on Adam 22 portraying as a Hoover. Actually, it don't even matter what kind of crip, but portraying that he's a Crip and he's gay, openly gay. I'm just like, what type of fucking shit is this? And ever since then, I just like completely don't even listen to any of the shit that No Jumper has to say, because now it's just all goofy to me. It's like culture voting, I mean, and like it's just a huge mess.
I don't agree with most of the stuff that goes on over there. Adam 22's turning into some different. I mean, he's even using certain slang that, look, when I'm in this arena myself, I interview gang members, I interview people and who are in the streets or were in the streets and trying to change their life and things like that. So I know it's a fine line you have to walk, because you're entering someone else's culture. I don't think Adam cares about that. I mean, I hear him saying, groove, and I hear him saying he's a BD, a black disciple. Like, and these are all jokes, but still, these are things that I wouldn't even joke about, man, on my own platform. But
once you identify your identity and all that, and then you have some that will even ask you what gang of them you're with. Like, for instance, you Crip? What gang? What set you with? Rolling 30s? Oh, okay. Depending on the set that the individual from a specific set that asked you that, you might have to throw down. You might have to get down. Especially if it's your arch rival and shit, because, nowadays, I'm going to tell you exactly what my homies always say. There ain't no such thing as fist fight. So you always got to be prepared for everything that comes to you, especially now. And you can't just walk around saying, like what you said, Adam 22 is saying, oh, you a BD, this, that. Because, certain questions are going to be asked to you to see if you know your shit. And if you don't know your shit, the consequence could be very bad. Let's just put it like that.
Yeah. It's almost like a powder keg waiting to explode over there. And it almost came to a head just this past week when two rivals entered the studio together. I know you don't really pay attention, but I would love your thoughts on this. So there's a guy named Snoopy Badass out there, rapper. Yeah, you know the name, obviously. Entertainer on the internet, I like to call them. But, he's beefing with Brick Baby, who is a member of the No Jumper. He's also a Rolling 60 Crip. And apparently Snoopy came up there recently with like 12 of his friends for an interview. And Brick Baby just so happened to be there with a few of his boys. And it kind of could have got really bad. It did not, but it could have gotten really, really bad. And I just think it's only a matter of time, man, before something bad happens up at No Jumper, having all of these, then you got Whack 100 who doesn't get along with such and such, and this person doesn't get along with that person, but somehow Adam is keeping them all away from each other, for the time being. But I don't know. I think it's only a matter of time, man, before something happens bad up there. And as a business owner, I would never want anything bad happening on my property, because that could be a multi-million-dollar lawsuit and be the end of your business. But it seems like Adam is just rolling with it, man. What do you think about that?
I mean, if they want the situation to happen, like you remember in the first Bang on Wax, that first track when they tried to get all the Crips and Bloods in the studio, and they were. I mean, if they want a situation like that, here's what I think, Adam. I mean, here's what I think of Dusty Vision. It's like a lot of these people from Adam 22 to Amp Boy. That's what I'm going to call him, Amp Boy. I feel like these people just really want to see some action actually happen. That's the way I'm looking at it. It's like they want to see what Crips and Bloods can actually do if they get to a certain extent of disrespect. And I mean, you know what I'm saying, with all the violence and all that, but sometimes in life, even as an individual person, sometimes you gotta make a statement to let people know that you're not to be taken as a joke and lightly. And I feel like that's what basically Adam 22 and Glizzy want, is to see what statement, you know, people can actually leave to make them stop trolling and stop culture voting. It's like, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do, but as a business, though, no, it would not be a good look. And as a business owner, you should have more common sense to know not to bring rivals into a place of business. I mean, unless you can replace all your equipment and all that, and replace, you know, all the shit that's broken glass, broken mics, you know, all that shit. Unless you have the money to do that, but other than that, not really a good move.